This video considers the notions of reliability and validity. Quantitative research is based on numbers that measure variables. The measurement needs to be consistent across different studies and conditions. Thus, reliability is a standard that researchers must calculate and report in the methods section of their research reports. Accuracy of measurement, on the other hand, cannot readily be calculated, but as an important standard called validity is considered an internal and external condition. Let's start with reliability. Several methods are used to assess consistency of a single measure, but Cronbach's alpha is specifically used for a composite measure, one in which several questions comprise an index, sometimes called a scale, for a variable. If you ask questions to construct a composite measure and the reliability coefficient, similar to a correlation, is 0.90 or higher, the measure is considered highly reliable. 0.80 or better is good, and 0.70 is considered fair or adequately reliable. Anything less than 0.70 is marginal, and less than 0.60 is unacceptable. One way to test reliability of an index is to use SPSS to assess reliability. Let's look at an example using motivations for watching television. Here's some data from a study I did a few years ago, and you'll notice in the variable view there are actual items labeled Instrumental 1, Ritual 1, Ritual 2, Ritual 3, Instrumental 2, Instrumental 3. These are motivations first reported on by Rubin in the 1980s and published in a book. So if you really want a good composite measure, you can look them up in books and borrow the questions as long as you cite the source. But looking at Cronbach's alpha in this example, we're going to just do Instrumental 1. The way to do that is to choose the Analyze menu, and the item you want to go to is Scale, although technically this is an index. By choosing Reliability Analysis, we can move the items from the left-hand box that deal with our variables of interest by clicking on them and just moving them with the arrow. I had 7 measures of instrumental. I believe there are many more from Rubin. These are the ones I chose. If you want, before you run the procedure, you can put a descriptive word in the scale label. Not absolutely necessary. Then choose Statistics, and you really should ask for Item, Scale, and Scale if Item Deleted buttons. There are many other tests that you can also ask for. Then you click on OK. The output will show you the number of cases, and it will report a reliability coefficient for a number of items. We had 7, and reliability is 0.75. If you look at the item statistics box, you can see what the means are for each item. The real beauty of Cronbach's alpha using SPSS is you can look to see if any of these 7 items were deleted, how that would change Cronbach's alpha. In this particular case, I watched television to learn things was not so predictive, because if it's deleted, Cronbach's alpha actually increases to close to 0.79, up from 0.75. I would be tempted to delete learning and just stick with television. It entertains me, it's thrilling, it's enjoyable, helps me talk with others, exciting, and amuses me. You can do the same reliability statistics using Cronbach's alpha for the ritual items. In content analysis, intercoder reliability is measured using Scott's pi, explained usually in textbooks, or Cohen's kappa, which has a procedure built into SPSS. And here's a link that walks you through kappa and other SPSS procedures. Krippendorf's alpha is another intercoder coefficient for which you can derive values from SPSS. In this course, kappa is sufficient for content analysis. The main purpose is to make sure that 2 coders reliably measure their items the same way. Turning now to validity, SPSS cannot calculate a coefficient for accuracy. External validity is how generalizable an experiment translates from the laboratory to the real world. Internal validity considers a variety of threats to an experiment. Using a control group and random assignment, you can take care of most threats to validity, and the rest of the internal threats are controlled by double-blind procedures. In surveys, researchers use expert panel and face validity to assess the accuracy of their measures. Content validity comprises a series of different types of validity, like criterion, concurrent, predictive, and construct validity. It is important to note that valid measures must be reliable, although reliable measures may not always be valid. That is, reliability is a necessary but not sufficient condition for validity. The target metaphor makes this clear. This concludes this video. See you next time.